upset. Good morning, everyone. Today, I want to talk to you about something that's often overlooked in modern healthcare: upset. Your body's incredible ability to heal itself. You see, we're taught to believe that health comes from a pill, a procedure, upset, or an external fix. But the truth is, upset. Your body already has built-in healing mechanisms. All you need to do is stop interfering with them and start supporting them. When we think about health, upset, most of us are conditioned to believe that healing is something external, something we need to chase, upset, something that requires a product, a pill, or a treatment, upset. But what we often forget is that the body is already designed with an extraordinary built-in healing system. Every cell, upset. Every tissue, every organ is constantly repairing, regenerating, and maintaining balance. Healing is not something foreign to us, upset. It is our natural state. The only reason it doesn't always seem that way is because something is interfering with the process, upset. To unlock your body's natural healing power, upset. The first and most important truth to understand is that healing is the body's default setting, upset. If you've ever had a cut on your skin, you didn't need to consciously instruct the wound to close, upset. You didn't have to program your cells to produce collagen or your platelets to form a clot. The body handled it seamlessly, upset, without your awareness. If you've ever broken a bone, your body initiated a complex repair process, layering tissue, upset, creating a callus and slowly restoring strength, upset. You didn't have to learn the biochemical sequence. It happened automatically, upset. This shows us that healing is not something we have to create from scratch. It's something we need to stop interrupting, upset. The intelligence of the body is far beyond what any external system can replicate, upset. The problem arises when daily habits interfere with this natural process. Poor diet, constant snacking, high levels of stress, upset. Lack of sleep and nutrient deficiencies all place a burden on the body. When you overload the system with sugar, upset. Processed foods or environmental toxins, the body is forced to use its resources not for healing, but for damage control, upset. Instead of working on long-term repair, it spends its energy managing crisis. That's when you see chronic inflammation, upset. Low energy and symptoms that never seem to resolve, upset. It's not that the body has lost its healing power. It's that it is overwhelmed by interference, upset. One of the most powerful ways to realign with the body's default healing mode is to give it the right environment, upset. When you reduce the constant spikes of insulin by cutting back on refined carbohydrates and sugars, upset. You free up the body to shift from storage mode to repair mode. When you practice intermittent fasting, upset. You allow cellular cleanup processes like autophagy to activate, clearing out damaged proteins and cellular debris, upset. This is not new technology. It's simply the body doing what it is designed to do when given the opportunity, upset. Nutrients also play a vital role in supporting the body's healing intelligence. Every enzyme, every hormone, upset. Every cellular function depends on vitamins and minerals as cofactors. Magnesium helps relax muscles and calm the nervous system, upset. Potassium regulates fluid balance and electrical activity. Vitamin D modulates immunity, and B vitamins drive energy metabolism, upset. Without these raw materials, the body cannot perform at its peak. Healing slows down, energy drops, and symptoms appear, upset. By restoring nutrient density through real foods, vegetables, healthy fats, upset. Quality proteins. You provide the building blocks the body requires to carry out its natural repair work, upset. Equally important is the recognition that healing doesn't always mean instant relief. The body works in layers, upset, addressing the most urgent imbalances first. Sometimes, as healing takes place, old symptoms temporarily resurface, upset. Or you may feel tired as your system rebalances. This is part of the process. The body is intelligent, upset, and it prioritizes survival and repair in the most efficient way possible. Trusting that process is a crucial mindset shift, upset. When you begin to understand that healing is your default state, upset, you stop looking for external solutions to fix you and instead start creating conditions that allow your body to do its job, upset. It's about removing what harms and adding what supports. When you simplify health to this principle, upset, you realize that the body has always been on your side, working tirelessly to bring you back to balance, upset. The challenge is not in teaching the body how to heal, upset, but in stepping out of its way and giving it the support it has always needed. One of the most overlooked obstacles to healing in the modern world is high insulin, upset. Insulin is a hormone that regulates blood sugar, but it does far more than that. It acts like a master switch, upset, deciding whether your body will burn fat for fuel, store energy, or allow repair to take place. In a healthy state, upset, insulin rises modestly when you eat, helps shuttle nutrients into cells, and then drops back down so your body can rest, repair, upset, and use stored energy. But in today's environment, with constant snacking, refined carbohydrates, sugary drinks, upset, and processed foods, insulin rarely gets the chance to come down. It stays elevated, sometimes all day, sometimes for years, upset, creating a situation known as insulin resistance. When insulin is chronically high, it blocks fat burning, upset. It shuts down certain repair mechanisms, and it keeps your body locked in a cycle of storage and imbalance, upset. The connection between high insulin and poor healing is profound. When insulin is elevated, upset, your body is in growth and storage mode. That means it is more focused on creating fat cells than breaking down damaged tissue, upset. It is like having a construction crew that never takes a break from building new walls, upset, leaving no one available to repair the cracks in the foundation. Healing requires downtime, upset, a pause in the constant flood of nutrients and signals telling your body to store energy. Without that pause, upset, the body cannot shift into repair. That is why people who struggle with weight gain, fatigue, upset, and chronic conditions often find that nothing changes until they address insulin. It is not just about weight loss, upset. It is about giving the body permission to heal. One of the main drivers of high insulin is refined carbohydrates. White bread, upset. Pasta pastries, cereals, sugary snacks, and sweetened beverages all rapidly convert into glucose in the bloodstream, upset. To protect you from dangerously high blood sugar, your pancreas pumps out large amounts of insulin. Do this once in a while, upset, and the body can manage. Do it several times a day, every day, for years, and the system becomes overwhelmed, upset. Cells stop responding properly to insulin, forcing the body to release even more of it, creating a vicious cycle, upset. This state of insulin resistance is at the root of many chronic problems like belly fat, brain fog, fatigue, high blood pressure, upset, and even inflammatory conditions. All of these are signs that the body is not healing as it should, upset. Breaking free from this cycle starts with lowering the foods that spike insulin, upset. Reducing sugar and refined carbs allows insulin levels to drop, and when insulin drops, fat burning can finally turn back on, upset. More importantly, repair mechanisms like autophagy are triggered, upset, where cells clean out damaged parts and recycle components for better function, upset. This is why people often notice not only weight loss, but improvements in skin, energy, upset, and mental clarity when they bring insulin down. The body is no longer trapped in constant storage mode, upset. It is free to do the deeper work of regeneration. Another effective way to lower insulin is through intermittent fasting, upset. By spacing out meals and avoiding constant grazing, you give insulin long stretches of time to stay low, upset. Even going 14 to 18 hours without food can dramatically shift the body into repair mode. Fasting does not damage the body, upset. It liberates it. It is a built-in mechanism humans have relied on for millennia, upset. And it aligns with the natural design of the body. When combined with nutrient-dense foods like vegetables, healthy fats, upset, and quality proteins, intermittent fasting becomes a powerful tool to unlock natural healing. Upset. High insulin is not simply a metabolic issue, it is a barrier to healing. By keeping it chronically elevated, upset, we block the very systems that are designed to restore balance and vitality, upset. The key is not to add more external treatments, but to remove the constant triggers that keep insulin high, upset. Once insulin is lowered, the body naturally shifts gears, moving from storing energy to repairing, regenerating, and thriving, upset. This single shift creates the space for your body's natural intelligence to do the work it was designed to do. Your body is made up of trillions of cells, upset. And each one of those cells is like a tiny factory performing countless tasks every second. These tasks require raw materials, upset. And those raw materials come in the form of nutrients. Without the right vitamins and minerals, your cells cannot produce energy, upset, repair damage, or communicate properly with each other. Nutrients are not optional, upset. They are the fuel and building blocks that keep life moving forward. When people talk about feeling tired, achy, inflamed, upset, or mentally foggy, what they often don't realize is that these are not random symptoms, upset. They are signs that the body is running on low quality fuel or is simply lacking the essentials it needs to function at its peak, upset. In today's world, it is easy to consume a high number of calories, but still be undernourished, upset. Processed foods may fill the stomach, but do not provide the nutrients needed at the cellular level, upset. A diet heavy in refined carbs, sugar, and unhealthy oils is empty of magnesium, potassium, zinc, and other critical minerals, upset. This leaves the body in a constant state of deficiency. Imagine trying to build a house without enough bricks, nails, or wood, upset. The workers may be ready to build, but without materials, progress stalls, upset. That is exactly what happens inside your body when nutrients are missing. Healing slows down, recovery from illness takes longer, upset, and energy drops. Magnesium, for example, is required in over 300 biochemical reactions, upset. It helps regulate muscle relaxation, nerve signals, and even the production of ATP, the molecule your cells use for energy, upset. A lack of magnesium can lead to cramps, anxiety, and fatigue. Potassium is equally critical, upset, playing a major role in maintaining electrical signals in the heart and muscles. Without enough potassium, upset, blood pressure can rise and cellular function becomes unstable. Vitamin D, often called the sunshine vitamin, upset, is a key regulator of the immune system. Low levels of vitamin D are linked to frequent illness, weak bones, and mood imbalances, upset. These are just a few examples, but they highlight a central truth: nutrients drive every single function in the body, upset. Healing cannot take place when the raw materials are missing. If a wound needs collagen to repair tissue, upset, and the body lacks vitamin C to produce that collagen, healing will stall. If bones need calcium and vitamin K2 to stay strong, upset, but the diet is deficient, fragility will follow. The symptoms people experience are not the body failing, upset. They are signals that the body is starved of what it needs, upset. Addressing these deficiencies often creates dramatic changes in energy, resilience, and overall well-being, upset. The most reliable way to provide these nutrients is through whole, nutrient-dense foods. Upset, leafy greens deliver potassium and magnesium. Fatty fish provide omega-3 fatty acids and vitamin D. Eggs, liver, upset, and meats supply B vitamins and essential amino acids. When these foods form the foundation of the diet, upset. The body gets the building blocks it requires to restore and maintain health. Supplements can be useful in certain cases, upset. But they should complement, not replace, real food. Nature designed foods in a complex matrix where nutrients work together, upset, and isolating them often misses the synergy that the body depends on. When you start feeding your cells properly, upset, the changes can be remarkable. Energy improves because mitochondria finally have the cofactors needed to make ATP, upset. Inflammation reduces as antioxidant pathways are activated with nutrients like selenium and vitamin E, upset. Mental clarity returns when the brain is supported with B vitamins and omega-3 fats, upset. Even mood improves when deficiencies are corrected, upset. Because neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine depend on nutrients for their synthesis, upset. It is easy to get caught up in the idea that health requires something new or complicated, but often it comes back to the basics, upset. Your cells cannot perform miracles without the raw materials. By focusing on nutrient density, upset, you fuel the very processes that drive healing and repair. Each meal becomes more than just calories, upset. It becomes a chance to equip your body with the tools it needs to restore balance and vitality, upset. This is why nutrition is not just about weight or appearance, upset. It is about giving your body the ability to unlock its full healing potential. Intermittent fasting is one of the most powerful ways to activate the body's built-in repair systems, upset. And it works not by adding something, but by removing constant eating. For most of human history, upset. Food was not available at every hour of the day. People naturally went through periods of fasting, upset. And the body adapted to use that time for repair, cleanup, and rejuvenation. In the modern world, with breakfast, snacks, lunch, upset. More snacks, dinner, and late night eating, the body never gets that break. Insulin stays elevated, upset. Digestion is constantly active, and the systems that repair and recycle old cells never fully turn on, upset. By practicing intermittent fasting, upset, you give your body a window of rest that allows it to switch from growth and storage into repair and healing, upset. When you go without food for several hours, something remarkable happens inside your cells, upset. They enter a process called autophagy, which literally means self-eating. It is not destructive, but regenerative, upset. The cells start breaking down damaged proteins, dysfunctional mitochondria, upset, and other debris that would otherwise accumulate and cause problems. This is like a cleanup crew sweeping through your body, upset, taking out the trash and making room for renewal. The buildup of old, upset. Dysfunctional components is one of the reasons aging and chronic disease accelerate, upset. So activating autophagy through fasting is like giving your body a reset button, upset. Another benefit of fasting is that it lowers insulin levels for an extended period of time, upset. High insulin is one of the biggest blocks to fat burning and healing, and it is constantly triggered by frequent eating, upset. When insulin finally comes down, fat stores are released as energy, inflammation decreases, upset, and the body can focus on deeper repair. Many people notice that inflammation-related symptoms such as joint pain, swelling, upset, or skin issues begin to improve when they start fasting, upset. This is because the body is no longer burdened by constant digestion and blood sugar management. Instead, upset. It has the bandwidth to direct resources to healing. Intermittent fasting also improves mental clarity and focus, upset. When the body shifts into fat burning, it produces ketones, upset, which are a cleaner and more efficient fuel for the brain than glucose, upset. Ketones reduce oxidative stress in neurons and provide a steady supply of energy, upset, which is why many people report sharper thinking, better concentration, and improved mood during fasting, upset. It is as if the brain is finally free from the roller coaster of blood sugar highs and crashes, upset. This effect alone can transform daily productivity and emotional balance. Upset. One of the most misunderstood aspects of intermittent fasting is that it is not about starving the body. It is about timing. Upset. During the eating window, you still nourish your body with nutrient-dense foods. You give it everything it needs to thrive. Upset. But by compressing your meals into a shorter window, such as 6 or 8 hours, upset. You provide the long fasting period that activates repair. Even a simple 16-9-8 schedule, upset, where you fast for 16 hours and eat within an 8-hour window can create significant changes in health. For others, upset, extending the fast occasionally to 20 or 24 hours brings even deeper benefits. The beauty of fasting is its flexibility. Upset. It can be adjusted to fit each person's lifestyle and goals. The impact of intermittent fasting extends beyond physical repair. Upset. It strengthens discipline, reconnects you with natural hunger signals, and breaks the cycle of emotional eating. Upset. It teaches the body to run efficiently on its own reserves rather than depending on constant external fuel. Over time, upset. Fasting not only restores health, but also reshapes the relationship with food, making eating a conscious, upset, nourishing act rather than a constant habit. By giving your body regular periods of rest from eating, upset, you are not depriving it but empowering it. Upset. You are unlocking a natural design that has been part of human survival for thousands of years. Upset. Instead of looking for external solutions to health problems, fasting allows you to awaken the body's own intelligence. Upset. Activating processes that no supplement or medication can replicate. Upset. It is one of the simplest yet most profound ways to support natural healing. Upset. And it starts with nothing more than choosing when not to eat. Diet is a powerful tool for health. Upset. But it is only one part of the bigger picture. The body is not a machine that runs on food alone. Upset. It is an interconnected system that also depends on how you sleep, how you move, and how you manage stress. Upset. When people focus only on what they eat, but ignore the lifestyle factors that surround them, upset. They often wonder why results are incomplete or temporary. Upset. Healing and true vitality happen when the body is supported from multiple angles. Upset. And that requires looking beyond diet to the daily patterns that either weaken or strengthen natural repair. Upset. Stress is one of the biggest lifestyle factors that interferes with healing. When you are under constant stress, upset, the hormone cortisol stays elevated. Cortisol is helpful in short bursts, but when it remains high, upset. It suppresses the immune system, increases blood sugar, and keeps the body in a state of alertness that blocks deep repair. Upset. Chronic stress can come from obvious sources like work pressure or relationship challenges. Upset. But it also comes from hidden sources such as overexposure to technology, lack of downtime. Upset. Or even unresolved thoughts that keep the mind in overdrive. Upset. Managing stress is not about eliminating challenges, but about creating balance. Practices like deep breathing, walking in nature, upset, meditation, or simply spending quiet time without stimulation can lower cortisol and allow the body to shift into recovery mode. Upset. Sleep is another critical factor. Most of the body's repair processes are activated at night. Growth hormone, upset, which supports tissue repair, surges during deep sleep. The brain clears out toxins and consolidates memory while you rest. Upset. Immune activity is heightened and cells regenerate. When sleep is cut short or disrupted, upset. All of these processes are compromised. Even a perfect diet cannot make up for chronic sleep deprivation. Upset. The result is lowered immunity, poor focus, increased cravings, and slower healing. Upset. Creating a routine that supports quality sleep, such as going to bed at a consistent time, keeping the room dark and cool. Upset. And avoiding screens before bed can dramatically improve the body's ability to heal. Movement is also essential, upset, not just for fitness, but for circulation, detoxification, and cellular communication. The lymphatic system, upset, which clears out waste and toxins, does not have a pump like the heart. It depends on muscle contraction to move fluid, upset. Without regular movement, toxins accumulate, energy stagnates, and healing slows. Exercise does not have to be extreme, upset. Even walking, stretching, or gentle strength training can stimulate circulation, improve insulin sensitivity, upset, and enhance oxygen delivery to tissues. The key is consistency because the body thrives on regular signals of activity, upset. Another lifestyle factor that often goes unnoticed is the environment, upset. Exposure to artificial light late at night disrupts circadian rhythms, upset. Constant noise and clutter keep the nervous system activated, upset. Lack of time outdoors limits vitamin D production and reduces natural grounding effects that come from contact with nature, upset. Healing accelerates when you realign with natural rhythms. Exposing yourself to sunlight during the day, upset. Dimming lights at night and spending more time in fresh air, upset. These simple changes create an environment that supports balance instead of stressing the system, upset. Social connections and emotional health also play a role, upset. Isolation and negative relationships are forms of stress that quietly drain energy and weaken the immune system, upset. Supportive connections, positive interactions, and a sense of purpose stimulate healing on a deep level, upset. Humans are wired for community, and neglecting this aspect can leave even the healthiest diet feeling incomplete, upset. The truth is that healing requires harmony. Food provides the raw materials, upset. But lifestyle provides the conditions in which those materials can be used effectively, upset. A nutrient-rich diet combined with stress management, quality sleep, regular movement, a healthy environment, upset. And positive relationships creates the full foundation for natural healing. When these pieces come together, upset, the body is not fighting against daily stressors, but working in alignment with them, upset. And this is when true restoration and vitality become possible. Modern healthcare often focuses on suppressing symptoms rather than addressing the underlying causes, upset. When someone experiences pain, fatigue, or discomfort, the most common response is to reach for a quick fix that masks the issue, upset. Painkillers numb the sensation, antacids neutralize stomach acid temporarily, and stimulants provide a burst of energy, upset. While these approaches may bring short-term relief, they do not restore health because they do not solve the root problem, upset. The body's signals are not mistakes. They are messages pointing to imbalances that need attention, upset. True healing comes when you support the body instead of silencing it. When you take the approach of suppression, upset. You may feel better in the moment, but the underlying condition often worsens. For example, upset. If the body is inflamed due to poor diet and you only take anti-inflammatory drugs, upset. You are quieting the signal without removing the cause. The inflammation may come back stronger, upset, or it may shift into another symptom because the body is still trying to communicate that something is wrong. In contrast, upset. When you support the body with nutrient-dense foods, proper rest, and practices like intermittent fasting, upset. The inflammation begins to resolve naturally. You are not fighting against the body, but working with it, upset. The body has an incredible intelligence that operates constantly, always moving toward balance and repair, upset. Symptoms are part of that process. A fever, for instance, is not an enemy, upset. It is the immune system raising the body's temperature to kill off pathogens, upset. Suppressing it too quickly can interfere with the body's ability to fight infection. Fatigue is not a weakness, upset. It is the body's way of signaling the need for rest and recovery, upset. Ignoring it with stimulants may allow you to push through temporarily, but it leaves the system more depleted in the long run, upset. By reframing symptoms as communication rather than problems, you can learn to support what the body is trying to achieve, upset. Supporting the body means creating conditions that allow natural processes to unfold, upset. That includes lowering insulin so the body can switch from constant storage to repair mode, upset. Ensuring adequate nutrients so cells have the raw materials they need, and managing lifestyle factors like sleep, stress, upset, and movement so that systems can operate smoothly. Instead of blocking or overriding natural responses, upset, you are aligning with them. This not only helps resolve current issues, but also strengthens resilience, upset, making the body better equipped to handle challenges in the future, upset. One practical way to think about this is through the concept of energy allocation. The body has limited energy and resources, upset, and it must decide where to spend them. When you constantly suppress symptoms, upset, the body is forced to work harder to signal distress in other ways. When you support it with rest, nutrient density, upset, and fasting windows, you free up energy for deeper healing tasks, upset. It is like clearing the schedule of a busy worker so they can finally focus on important projects instead of being stuck managing endless emergencies, upset. The long-term benefits of this supportive approach are profound. Instead of becoming dependent on medications or quick fixes, upset, you build a foundation of health that reduces the need for constant intervention, upset. The body becomes more efficient at repairing itself, inflammation decreases, energy stabilizes, upset, and the risk of chronic disease goes down. Supporting rather than suppressing means you are addressing health at its root, upset, not just managing its symptoms. It requires a shift in mindset, upset, because modern culture often values immediate relief over long-term healing, upset. But when you trust your body's intelligence and provide what it needs, you discover that most of the time, upset, it already knows what to do. The role you play is not to control or override, but to remove the barriers and supply the tools, upset. When you do this consistently, you unlock a level of healing that no pill or external treatment can replicate, upset, because it comes from within,